This chilling footage, shared by Nicole on TikTok, captures a late-night moment on a quiet residential balcony. Her young son is standing outside, enjoying the evening air in a space that should be entirely private and safe. Nicole was recording his innocent exploration, documenting the simple routine of a toddler at play. The background is filled with the soft glow of string lights and the stillness of the neighborhood. The air felt thick with a presence that hadn't yet made itself known. The recording documents the child leaning toward the glass door before a deep guttural whisper responds to his call. Unmistakably present in the frame is the toddler's physical recoil as he chooses to step away from the handle. The chilling part isn't the audio itself, but the boy's calm, direct refusal to interact with the source of that sound. Those who study this footage point to the distinct frequency of the whisper, which lacks the timbre of a child's voice. Skeptics argue the audio could be layered in post-production to create a viral reaction. I don't know what that sound is, and I'm not sure I want to hearing a child negotiate with the darkness makes every shadow on a patio feel crowded, which is enough to make any parent pull their child back inside immediately. This deeply unsettling clip, posted on TikTok by Magical Poltergeist, documents a series of increasingly violent disturbances in what should have been a peaceful family home. The recording was captured by a security camera left to monitor the living area, documenting the mundane stillness of the furniture and the empty space. Nothing seemed out of place as the night hours ticked by, with the rocking chair and the children's play area remaining perfectly still in the dim light. The clip documents a sequence of events where heavy furniture is manipulated with terrifying force. Caught on film is a rocking chair beginning to move on its own before a table is suddenly upended in the room. This documented activity captures the physical weight behind every slam and drag. For anyone taking this at face value, the key detail is the inconsistent velocity of the objects, which suggests something other than gravity. Those unconvinced by the footage argue the possibility of wires or hidden assistance, though the timing of the movements is difficult to replicate. I've watched the physical violence of this footage several times, and it still doesn't sit right. Because when a home stops being a sanctuary, every shadow feels like it's waiting to move, and waking up to find your own furniture shifted into new positions is the kind of realization that makes you never want to close your eyes again. This terrifying video, shared on YouTube, begins in a typical family bedroom where a group of young cousins is spending the evening. The camera is handheld, documenting the boys as they gather around a heavy wooden rocking chair. There is no reason to suspect anything out of the ordinary, as the children jokingly address the empty furniture. The room is filled with the warm, cluttered details of a lived-in home, and the atmosphere remains lighthearted and mundane. The silence that followed was heavy with a sudden, localized pressure.
My cousin Braden, my cousin Benton, and my brother Karsten. And this is our parents' bedroom. And we've been catching this rocking chair moving by itself. And nobody believes us. But we're all here at home alone, and we're going to see if we can catch it now. Somebody want to ask it to move?
Move.
Please, sir or ma'am, please move the chair if you can.
Or male or female, move.
I'm scared.
Me too.
Probably ain't going to do it with us sitting here.
Oh, I'm so scared, cousin. What is the tragic, cousin?
Is it moving a little bit?
Oh my gosh.
It is.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. Oh. Oh. Man, that's so creepy. Why do we have to stand here? Huh?
Wait, hold on, wait. Somebody go see if somebody's behind there.
I will.
Why do we have to do this?
Oh, no one's behind there. Oh,
Let me
gosh.
see. Let me get it on
gosh.
camera.
Oh gosh.
Look, it is moving. And nobody's
Oh,
back
I'm
there.
so scared.
And plus, you can see in the mirror, nobody's standing behind there while it's moving.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's slowing down now. Is it gonna do it anymore for us? Nope. Stop.
The image that emerges is the heavy rocking chair beginning to tilt backward with a rhythmic, deliberate motion that defies the lack of physical contact. This documented movement occurs while the children are standing several feet away, their hands visible and empty. What strikes most viewers as impossible to fake is the raw, unscripted panic in the boys' voices. The problem with accepting this as genuine is the possibility of a thin wire or a hidden mechanical device in the base, which means the very sanctuary of their bedroom has been compromised by a calculated deception. I've watched this moment too many times, and seeing that heavy wood move on its own makes every chair in my house feel like it's waiting for a guest, which is enough to make you keep your feet off the floor when you're sitting alone.
Oh, no one's behind there. Oh,
Let me
gosh.
see. Let me get it on
gosh.
camera.
This creepy clip, shared by Horror on TikTok, takes us to a remote structure where the night air feels thick. The investigator moves toward a locked door, the beam of their flashlight cutting through the oppressive darkness of the exterior walls. There is a heavy, rhythmic quality to the silence, broken only by the sound of boots on gravel and the metallic struggle with the latch. As the handle finally turns, the atmosphere shifts unexpectedly. The camera documents the heavy latch of the door being manipulated from the outside while horror remains inside the building. The recording reveals the distinct metallic clicking of the handle as it is pressed down repeatedly by an invisible force. The argument for authenticity is simple. The immediate, breathless panic in the recorder's voice is difficult to script. Skeptics, however, point to the possibility of a person hidden in the deep shadows just beyond the beam of the flashlight. Hearing that metallic click in total isolation is the kind of sound that makes you check your own locks twice tonight, because standing on a porch in the dark makes you realize how little protection a single door actually provides. Don't leave just yet. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers. I'd appreciate it if you hit that button to support the channel. Now, let's jump back into the next clip. This horror footage from Guruji on YouTube begins with a late-night motorcycle ride through a dense, isolated forest. The sound of the engine and the narrow beam of the headlight are the only things cutting through the heavy silence of the rural landscape. Guruji had intended this to be a routine investigation, but the atmosphere of the woods felt charged with something invisible. Nothing seemed out of place until the bike slowed down in a clearing. The weight of the surrounding trees felt as though it were pressing in on the narrow path.
भाई कितनी गंदी आवाज आ रही है यार। देख हवा भी चल रही है यार।
पूरा कैप्चर हो रहा पूरा। सीरियसली गाइस, मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूँ। पूरी तरह से कैप्चर हो रहा है जो मैं देखा। कैमरे में रिकॉर्ड करने की कोशिश करेंगे, दोनों हैं। और टाइम भी यार काफ़ी गलत हो रहा है। पूरी फैमिली तबाह हुई थी यहाँ पे, और कहते हैं कि उन लोगों की आत्मा वगैरह या शैतान वगैरह दिखाई देता है। एग्जैक्ट मैं कह नहीं सकता किधर, बट कुछ ना कुछ रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है। आगे चमक रही थी। दो है साथ में।
भाई भाई भाई
दो है, दो। देख वाइट 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 रेस है। क्या है वो?
गाड़ी गाड़ी घुमा यार। वो रोक।
कैमरा ऑन रख ब्रदर, कैमरा ऑन रख। सीरियसली गाइस, पास आ रहे हैं। देखो जैसे आपने सभी भाइयों ने कहा था। पीछे 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 पीछे।
गाड़ी घुमा यार, गाड़ी घुमा भाई। गाड़ी घुमा यार, देख गाड़ी घुमा यार जल्दी यार।
नहीं ब्रदर, कैप्चर नहीं रे। तीन है। कहाँ से ले?
गाड़ी घुमा जल्दी। गाड़ी घुमा यार, गाड़ी घुमा जल्दी, घुमा यार भाई। गाड़ी घुमा गाड़ी घुमा भाई। भाई गाड़ी घुमा यार जल्दी।
The recording reveals multiple pale, motionless forms standing directly in the path of the motorcycle. These figures don't react to the light or the noise, maintaining a rigid posture that feels entirely unnatural. The sheer number of them makes the isolation Guruji felt seem far more absolute. The detail that keeps this from being easily written off is the way the light catches the texture of the garments. On the other side of the argument is the possibility of staged actors in sheets, noting the convenient spacing and the high contrast visibility against the dark trees. Though the way they refuse to move is difficult to dismiss. There's something about the way the engine struggles to start as those shapes draw closer that I can't stop thinking about, and finding yourself surrounded in the dark is the kind of nightmare that stays with you long after the sun comes up. This haunting footage from Spiky Dragon on YouTube begins in a dark basement where a young woman is sharing the history of her home. The atmosphere is heavy, and she appears visibly tense while recounting the paranormal events that have supposedly occurred in the space. There was no reason to expect that a simple recording would document something so physical and direct. The scene remained ordinary but charged, suggesting a night that would eventually lead to an inevitable confrontation. The silence that followed was heavy with a sudden, localized pressure.
There's been a lot of paranormal, creepy stuff that's been happening in my basement because when my basement was being built, somebody died down here, and my house was built in 1982. Oh, my door just moved. Okay, it's kind of creepy. Is anybody in there? Should I go in there?
I guess, yeah. Let's look.
Nobody's in there. Behind the door. Well, this really doesn't have anything in it. Okay, maybe we should just go back up now. Okay, I think that should be it. I don't know. Whoa. Okay,
Wait a minute, I can't. Yeah, let me turn on the night.
okay.
Wait.
Is it on? Is my vision on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Wait, what is it?
Oh my god, chair's moving. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just go upstairs now.
Documented here, whether deliberately or not, is a door that swings open behind the girl before the lights fail. The recording reveals an empty office chair rotating slowly. However, what nobody expected the camera to find was the chair the woman is sitting in being yanked back with violent force. The speed and inertia of the pull make the event feel undeniably physical. The element that makes staging seem implausible is the raw reaction captured in night vision. Skeptics suggest the darkness provided an opportunity for an accomplice, which means Spiky Dragon's basement is no longer a safe place to sit. I've watched this moment several times, and seeing that chair yanked back still doesn't sit right. Seeing your own furniture pulled out from under you is the kind of violation that makes you never want to sit with your back to an open room again.
Okay, I'm gonna just go upstairs now.
This terrifying footage, shared by Cashmore Hingley on YouTube, begins in a quiet dining area where the evening light is beginning to fade. The camera is set up to monitor the room, capturing the heavy antique furniture and the stillness of a home that should be completely empty. Cashmore Hingley had noted several odd occurrences in the weeks leading up to this recording, but nothing had yet been caught on film. Everything seemed out of place. The silence that followed was heavy.
Don't like it. When damn wake up. I hate it. Bollocks. Bollocks.
Frame by frame, you can see the wine bottle being suddenly and violently pushed over as if struck from the side. The physics of that impact don't align with a simple vibration or draft. Those who studied this footage argue the force of the tip far exceeds what an uneven floor could produce. The counter-argument centers on the possibility of a string or an off-camera vibration, which means the sanctuary of the dining room was broken by a force that shouldn't exist. I've watched this particular moment several times, and hearing that glass impact in a room you know is empty makes every reflection in your own home feel like a window for something else.
Bollocks.
This unsettling footage, shared by Tessa on TikTok, begins in a typical bedroom bathed in a soft pink glow. Tessa is simply sitting with one of her dolls, recording a casual video about her routine. Everything about the scene feels perfectly ordinary, from the background to the relaxed way she holds the toy. There is no reason to suspect that this moment would be anything other than a routine social media post.
Right now, but yeah, I didn't go in with any eyeshadow because I didn't want. Do you guys see that?
Visible in the recording is the doll's head slowly, deliberately rotating to face Tessa while she continues to speak. The mechanical precision of that movement is what makes the footage so difficult to watch. For anyone convinced this is real, the key detail is the lack of any visible hand placement acting on the doll's neck. Skeptics point to the possibility of a thin fishing line or a small motor hidden within the toy's torso. I've seen plenty of dolls in these videos, but something about the way this one catches the light as it turns toward her is genuinely chilling, especially since Tessa doesn't notice the shift immediately. Knowing a toy is watching you while your back is turned makes every bedroom feel like a trap.
Yeah, I didn't go in with any eyeshadow because I didn't want.
This unsettling footage, shared by Tristan on TikTok, takes us into the familiar, quiet hallways of a home at night. Tristan was moving from room to room, maybe completing a final check of the house before settling in for the evening. The camera captures the dim, ordinary lighting and the stillness of the empty kitchen as he approaches the doorway. Everything was exactly where it belonged, and no other sounds broke the silence of the dwelling. Then, the heavy atmosphere in the hallway suddenly shifted. The silence that followed was heavy. Visible in the recording is a heavy dining chair sliding backward with enough force to suggest a physical push. The camera picks up a distinct scraping sound against the tile before the movement even begins. The timing is what makes it impossible to dismiss. For anyone convinced this is real, the key detail is the natural way the chair reacts to the floor's resistance, moving as if handled by an invisible intruder. Skeptics, however, point to the low camera angle and the possibility of a thin wire attached to the chair's base, a classic setup for a haunted kitchen hoax. I've watched the way that chair shifts more times than I'd like to admit, and the weight of the movement doesn't sit right. That wraps up this one for Pale Playback. Subscribe so you never miss an upload, and if you think what you just saw was unsettling, wait until you see the video already waiting on your screen right now.